And I'm apologizing just because I know I was just screaming a second ago. Like, I gotta bring it down. Gotta bring it. Okay. God bless you guys. God bless Glory. God bless. How many black people you see in that group? Don't ask me about the optics. Don't ask me about the where, when, why. Do you notice that there is a sea of white people generally not wearing masks? I get that you guys don't want to attack this person from that angle because, that's something you want to stay away from. But indulge me. Why is it always like that for these people? That's number one. Dumb thing to unpack, but let's work on it. Back the blue. I don't even want to unpack. I don't want to unpack that. Ilhan Omar wants police investigated by a federally funded board appointed by the president. I say we investigate her involvement with BLM and riots in Minnesota that caused $1 to $2 billion in damage to 1,500 plus properties. Omar shared the MMF bail bond link that let rioters out of jail. Okay. Okay. The same way that people who got caught in the insurrection were like charged, but we haven't heard anything about conviction or sentencing. Bailing yourself out of jail is like the point of the bail. Like, it doesn't excuse you from the charges. It just says you don't sit in jail. Whatever. I say we investigate her involvement with BLM and riots in Minnesota that caused $1 to $2 billion in damage to 1,500 plus properties. Here's the problem with that statement. To unpack it in a way that sounds completely logical is not the way you have to attack this. Because this statement has also been used to describe all of Black Lives Matter protests across the entire country that have caused the same amount of damage to the same amount of properties. So this is an inflammatory statement meant to deride like clear hatred and engagement. But it is a lie. Because then I would have to then say, if this isn't a lie, then the people who have parroted this line to say that that was the total cost of damage of all protests have also been lying. So either you're lying or they're lying, but since you're repeating what they're saying, either you're lying or they're lying. You see how it goes in a circle? So you end up screaming at yourself because it's like, how I don't understand, like blah blah blah. Ilhan Omar has nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter protests because nobody was out there protesting Ilhan Omar for president or Ilhan Omar to control the entire nation. There was no, that's not how that works. Because then I would say, isn't your pinned tweet saying, don't you still have real Donald Trump's back after the insurrection that you did for him? Like we really just glossed over the insurrection, bro. We really just glossed over the insurrection. Like we just said, fuck it, that happened. That happened. We haven't seen one like that since like Civil War times, but like it just happened. Okay, we'll move on. Burgers. The burgers are the real problem. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene is, of course, it's a black guy she's retweeting. Democrat Maxine Waters, like all Democrat members of Congress, was last seen throwing cops under the bus. Stop Police Reform Bill HR 1280. It's a cop hating bill. Here's the rule on cops that I'm going to make right now. If a person does not have a weapon of choice, you do not shoot them. Okay. If a person does not have a weapon that directly threatens you or somebody else in harm, you do not shoot them. And do you know why I'm saying that that's the rule on cops? Because mass shooters get caught unless they commit suicide. Daniel Shaver had nothing to do with anything that was going on with that with the reported shooting that was there. They shot him. He was of no threat. Oh, the cops didn't know. What if he had a hidden pistol in his back or whatever? Yes, because even in my bravest moments, even when I know I'm going down in a hail of gunfire, I am thinking that I can pull out a gun and shoot like four trained, bulletproof, Navy SEAL looking motherfuckers with my pistol before they gunned me down. They gunned him down. Innocent kid. Where were the riots for him? There were Black Lives Matter protests for him. You wanted to escalate in the riots so you show that we care about all people and police brutality the same. But you want peaceful protests as well. Help me understand this. Help me understand this. We already unpacked this, but I'm going to do it again because it's the Marjorie Taylor Greene hour. I gotta see this. Nobel Prize in sarcasm. Yeah, I get it. Ah ha ha. It's so funny. Yeah, he's literally on the side of. I'm so confused here. Oh shit! I'm reading the wrong fucking thing. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm reading the comment. I'm reading it in reverse. Sorry. That's my bad. My bad. Anyway, no burgers for thee, but just for me. Didn't he say limit meat consumption? If they, let's say Joe Biden said, yeah, we want to cut down. All Americans are to stop eating red meat except for 4 pounds. Does that not include like a quarter pounder? You could have a quarter pounder every week for 4 months. Huh? How much red meat do you eat to actually care? I'm actually guessing that the actual like amount of Americans that eat like over 4 pounds of red meat is pretty high, only because they don't realize how much like they're actually ingesting. But if you had a porterhouse steak, that's a pound right there. You go out every other day to eat a porterhouse steak, please like seek help. But anyway, yeah, that's dumb. Like that's dumb because of pure logic and also pure like stupidity. Like that makes no sense. Did he say no burgers? Like you can't. That's what I mean. Like you can't even stay on the same story about the thing that you're talking about. Anyway, let me not stick on that. Oh ha 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 memes. Blue Anon is far more dangerous than QAnon. A real, very real, powerful, and dangerous threat to our free republic. But QAnon is what led to the insurrection and the rise of conspiracy theories about literally everything. So, no. But let's see what this is about. Blue Anon, a loosely organized group of Democratic voters, politicians, and media personalities who spread left wing conspiracy theories such as the Russia hoax, Senate confirmed Russia was not a hoax, Jussie Smollett hoax. I mean, the guy lied. I don't know why you think that's a Democratic thing. The Ukraine hoax literally wasn't. Covington Kids hoax? Covington Kids? Oh shit. That one I still don't understand fully. Yeah, like the guy was actually like provoking it and the kid was like not trying to it's dumb shit. That's dumb. Okay. And Brett Kavanaugh hoax. Okay, whoa. While out here for a second because I'm pretty sure we landed that and just nobody cared and he got confirmed anyway. The same with Amy Comey Barrett and her fucking past. Blue Anon adherents fervently believe that right wing extremists are going to storm Capitol Hill any day now and remove lawmakers from office, hence the need for deployment of thousands of National Guard stationed at the U.S. What? But they stormed Capitol Hill. That's not even how you spell Capitol Hill. That's Urban Dictionary. What the fuck is going on? Yeah, I was like, that's Urban Dictionary. Oh my god. Literally, like, why would you do that? Okay, so you retweeted that and it's shitting on you, so dumbass bitch. For the record, if someone's trying to stab me, I'd appreciate you shooting them. Okay, okay. Y'all already heard my take on that. I'm not gonna repeat it again. I think that's one of these non black and white situations that I don't think we should get up in arms about. Not get up in arms about, but I mean, like, from a black person's perspective, I still think that there is a whole police accountability reform issue that was brought about by that. But again, like, if somebody is getting ready to stab somebody, I think it would be the police's job to hinder the stabbing of that person. Should they like kill people? I get like the moral argument on that, but like I would literally think a policeman's job is to stop like somebody from killing somebody else. Like I would think that if we could want to talk about non-lethal solutions, we could talk about all that and uh, reaffirming the bias of police officers when they show up on scene and see something happening, blah blah blah, this and that. We could talk about that. That's a fair conversation, but that's fucking stupid. Hold on. Also, as well, if someone is trying to stab me, I'd appreciate you shooting them, as if I can't just knock them out. Like before that, but see, it's not about police officers. It's about people. People. For the record, if I make someone mad enough that they want to stab me, maybe we should try to figure out what's going on before you start shooting people. But again, they're going to take the one fringe case that actually supports their identity and like go wild with that. Whatever. U.S. Vice President to speak with Mexican President on tree planting proposal. I don't see any issue with that. Kamala Harris hasn't gone to the border to look at the invasion happening or to see the kids in Biden cages, but she is going to talk with Mexico about us paying for their landscaping project in Mexico and giving work visas and citizenship to the illegals we hire to do it. Conflating random ass issues. That's straw man. Good morning to everyone except the communist Democrat. It's like you say that shit out loud and the government don't come after you and you get retweeted by dumb bitch and somehow still think we're in communist America. Like, so corporations capitulating to the woke mob isn't capitalism, but somehow we have a communist democratic party? What about the corporations that still stand for good American Republican values? Both can't exist in the same universe. Like, that's so dumb. We must stop paying people not to work in our country. The real goal of extended shutdowns by the Dems is to make people permanently dependent on government. Okay. Okay. Unpack that real quick. The real goal of extended shutdowns by the Dems is to make people permanently dependent on government. Okay. That is a strange case for UBI. That is the weirdest way to state that case. But ironically, hasn't the greatest like stuff we've dealt with and the confrontations that we've had with our own humanity and our society and the little parts that are wrong and right with it, haven't they all come out of the shutdowns? And I really don't think people are like, I love sitting at home collecting a check. Like I'm seeing more and more people say, I can't wait for this to be over. I'm going to shows. I'm going here. I'm doing this. I'm in a movie theater. I'm in this. I'm in that. Like, you really want people to work minimum wage jobs, which would then not allow them to be able to afford the things that they want the freedom for. Like, what do you? Oh yeah, we appreciate our employees who show up to work. All restaurants are understaffed at this time due to lack of interest in submitting an application for employment. We're simply unable to compete with all the various government benefits that are able available and being received. Maybe that's something you should pick up with your company as opposed to being worried about the government giving out. Like it's y'all say collect the easiest bag, right? If I'm going around town selling these for $7 an hour, no comments, no commission. I just go around selling these. Let's say each of these is $10. I make $7 an hour. That $3 in profit you just made goes directly to you. Why would I spend all my time working for $7 an hour when there's another thing that I could do that gives me more money and less stress? Isn't that the point? Like, do you guys think higher paying jobs come with bigger duties? Because I can promise you right now, the guy who cleans all the toilets works way harder than the guy who sits in an air conditioned room and has a conversation about which ad they're gonna run and what the possible, like, they just sit around talking numbers. They don't do physical labor. Like, that's another part that gets me really weirded out. Is I guess this segment will be called Unpacking Marjorie Taylor Greene's Timeline. That's another part that gets me like weirded out about labor forces and how they consistently argue with between themselves about the value of their work versus the amount of effort it takes to put into it. I don't want no burger flipper to be making more than me. It's like, or I don't want the burger flipper to make as much as me. It's like, you don't think it's odd that the number that the flipper picked is equal to the amount you make? They didn't go for higher than you. They went for equal. So even if they didn't get equal, you don't find it weird that the argument is that like the money that you're making right now is unsustainable in other places? Shouldn't you be asking for more money then? Wait, I couldn't live off the amount I live off of in this state in another state doing the exact same job? I would want to get paid more if I lived in that state. So why don't I get paid more here? But yet it's the burger flipper's fault? Like, oh, I'm on the range. I'm cracking the ding ding. That a burger flipper could never understand that. And I'm like, let me throw a vat of hot oil on you. Oh, that hurts. Guess what? No workman's comp. You're off. You're off the line. You just get fired and let go. Just replaced. Why do you? Oh, I could see why. Because the US, for decades, if not centuries, has always put together this beautiful picture of the hardest workers being men with their hands. Ironically, though, the people who work with their hands who are so against the burger flippers making as much money as them literally do not say anything about the corporation people who sit in those nice, beautiful air conditioned houses and make 70 to 80 times more than you. And they don't do a hard day's work. Oh, because you see, having that much money as they must have worked really hard to get there. Someday I'll make it there. But you're not conditioned for that work because all you've done is work the oil fields. All you've done is work the pipelines. All you've done is the hard labor. While people who do less work than the burger flippers make 40 times more than both of you combined. But the issue is each other and not the guy at the top? Huh. Anyway, I unpacked that tweet way too fucking hard. But anyway, you see where it's like, you got elected to Congress and you're saying this shit. I live in Harlem and I'm able to decipher how full of shit you are, but like, you have commanding power in our society. Like, people pay attention to you by default. What the fuck are you on? All right, Democrats who plan to vote on Green New Deal policies must lead by example. Dems must immediately stop flying on airplanes. Convert all your electricity needs to wind and solar. Buy an EV. Stop using any product that is made with oil and stop eating beef. Joe Biden, you go first. I want to unpack this so fucking bad. So fucking bad. Dems must lead by example. Dems must immediately stop flying on airplanes. Okay, let's say that happened. Joe Biden, Air Force One. What are we doing with that? Why does that exist? Can't not have him use it because literally it's the transport necessary. Can't have him driving places because that would be too long and he wouldn't be able to make them. Plus, it would make him an easy target on the road. You'd have to shut down massive amounts of like the country to allow him to drive through. All Democrats? You mean the ones that live so far away that if they have to fly up to the Senate, so Republicans can because you're not voting on it? Are you doing the thing? Like, if we led by example, wouldn't you still be doing the thing anyway? So it's like we're leading by example, but you're not going to follow anyway because you're specifically making this about Democrats and not about human beings. So the flying on airplanes part doesn't work. Convert all of your electricity needs to wind and solar. We want to do that for the entire country. So I guess, yeah, you would be right. We should all like lead by example and do that. I wonder why we don't do that. Oh, yeah, the fossil fuel and energy companies that consistently lobby every single time to not have a move towards green energy. I wonder why we would need to sign a Green New Deal in the first fucking place if that was the whole point. I think they would love to lead by example because that would show you how better it could be if we had more sustainable energy as opposed to literally polluting our climate with this absolute. Buy an EV, stop using any product that is made with oil, and stop eating beef. So Democrats all do that, and then what? Will you follow suit? If you follow suit, then why make this argument in the first place? If you don't follow suit, then why make this argument in the first place? So if both conclusions are don't make this argument in the first place, who the fuck makes the argument in the first place? Oh yeah, somebody who's inciting like literal, like not violence, but like literal political antagonizing. There we go. You're just antagonizing people. You were elected, bro. It's over. Like you don't have to do this because she want to run for president. That's what this is about. She want to be the hard-headed Trump person that literally cannot be shot down from the plane. Cute. That's cute. I fuck with that energy. I fuck with that energy hard. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. I know it's weird, it's coming out of nowhere, but I fuck with that energy hard because at least you sticking to your guns. They're fucking dumb like cotton candy guns, but at least you stick in there with it. At least you're like at least at least you're sticking to like your guns. Oh, look at that! I got another thread I gotta worry about now. Sorry guys, I know I'm in the middle of a segment. Anyway, why would you make that argument in the first fucking place? So either I'm insane or she's insane. Choose your fighter. Remember when Republicans lost the House in 2018 because a bunch of them distanced themselves from President Trump? Not inviting President Trump to the GOP retreat is the same stupid behavior. Funny how they don't understand a record number of votes in support of any Republican president. Fair criticism. I can't really attack that one. Yeah, you win that one. That's I guess that's still saying get on the Trump train of fascism, but like I guess yeah. Okay. I'm honored to have been one of the few members of Congress invited to attend President Biden's address in person. During his inaugural address, President Biden spoke about uniting our nation, bringing Americans together, move our country forward. Votes to strip fellow Republicans of committee assignments, thereby denying the people of North Georgia proper representation in Congress. Now she's getting to let us all know how happy it is to attend Biden's exclusive little party. What a joke. Bullshit. That's why she got stripped of those committees. She was wilding on the internet, bro, literally supporting the insurrection and even being close to finding out that she was part of the reason they knew the interior layout and where to go to find the politicians that they wanted to kill. So how on earth is like the appropriate response of just removing her from the committees, make it so all of denying the people of North Georgia proper representation in Congress? She can still vote on things. She can still present legislation. Are you fucking stupid? Okay, John Kerry told a Iranian foreign minister about secret Israeli military options. Daily Caller, we're not even going to deep into that. If this is true, John Kerry is a traitor not only to a great friend and ally Israel, but to America as well. I know she's not talking about being a traitor. If this isn't the insurrectionist calling the kettle black. Y'all know me, I'm not great on foreign politics. I mean, I know about what that is, but like, John Kerry literally cannot be a traitor. That's not how that fucking works. All right. The Matt Gaetz story was weird in many of the same ways that the Russia Gate stories were weird. Wild allegations from nameless government sources, no evidence, etc. Deep state media info ops deserve skepticism. Okay, the Matt Gaetz story was weird. It is not a Matt Gaetz story. The DOJ under Donald Trump literally launched an investigation into him. Joe Biden's DOJ picked it back up. It's literally the same thing. It was a continuous thing. Remember, he don't even talk about it anymore. There is a liberal conspiracy to extort me. What happened to that story? Why did he drop it? Why isn't he still talking about it? He's talking about we need to run for this and we need to present this and we need to have America first values. He's talking about all of that. He dropped that part of his story. I wonder why. Not one woman has accused Matt Gaetz. That's not true. That literally how we found out about this is through the accusations. But the silence from Republicans is even more deafening. Okay, keep going. You're almost on the woke side. This is a coordinated attack from the deep state. Deep state has already been demolished as a conspiracy theory. And the media, which also has an interesting timing because it came after he stood with the people against Liz Cheney. It's also interesting that George Bush has entered the scene. Cheney, Bush, neocons, and many never-Trumpers all on the move to take over the Republican Party. And Cheney says she might run for president in 24. It's hard not to see what's going on. But the disconnect between Republican voters and the old guard can't be repaired. They are more aligned with Biden, the progressive communists, the globalists, the deep state, and the media than they are with the people. So that silence from Republicans very telling. Okay, it's very hard to unpack that. Yes, I do not like the fact that George Bush's identity is being repackaged as like the feel good guy and like, hey, look, he's not that bad after all. Like, fuck you. I know what that is about. It's about reclaiming the old Republican Party. Like, she's kind of right about that. I give him that because it's weird how like she can fall on her face with everything she says and still somehow make great points. And I don't mean great points like, oh, that's awesome, but like to twist those points into like some dumb shit about some other dumb shit. They are more aligned with Biden, the progressive communist. This doesn't make any sense. This part doesn't make any sense. The globalists, the deep state, and the media than they are with the people. But they are the people. What people are you talking about that they're not with? You mean the old white people who still are about traditional values? Oh, I see. You're a fucking loon! Breaking. America First Legal. Never call your shit that. Never retweet Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller. Never. America First Legal has just filed a lawsuit against the Biden admin for illegally excluding Americans from receiving foreign-based aid upon their race. AFL believes in equal rights, dignity, and treatment under the law, embraces the eternal vision of MLK. Stop invoking MLK because you don't even like the idea of his communist background. Like, stop that. Stop that. I've been inspired to speak at the Back the Blue and Freedom Rally at the Ohio State House this Saturday in Columbus. As we all saw on video, Officer Ritter saved the young woman's life and should be treated like a hero. Okay, yeah, whatever. California has a real opportunity now that grassroots will get signatures to recall that loser Gavin Newsom. CA Republicans need a serious candidate. Don't play identity politics. It's not about the political consultants. Play to win for the CA people. Stop meddling in elections that have nothing to do with you. Tucker Carlson. Okay, we're gonna unpack the Tucker Carlson tweet in a moment. Stop masking children and mask mandates. Let people choose to wear a mask or not, and don't be hateful. Should be addressing obesity as the highest risk factor, not punishing healthy people and kids. It doesn't matter if you're healthy or not. Contracting it means you can give it to somebody who's not healthy, and since you don't know the medical status of anybody around you, it's best not to just try to get it in the first place just to get over it or blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna unpack that because Tucker Carlson's take is insane. We must stop giving billions in foreign aid to countries whose people are illegally invading our country. After decades of trillion in foreign aid, these countries shouldn't have any problems. We should demand an audit of how our money has been spent and they stop invading us. Okay, a lot to unpack about xenophobia and racism there, but let's do this step by step. We must stop giving billions in foreign aid to countries whose people are illegally invading our country. Okay. First of all, which countries? Because there are countries that we give foreign aid to that we don't have a big immigration problem with. So you must be specifying. Or is it the people who enter here legally? The people who vacation here? No, it's people who don't look white. See how easy it is to like figure that out? Because who are you talking about? Why won't you specify? When there's no specification, when there's no specific target, assume that they are talking about there's good people who enter legally and there are bad people who enter illegally. Who have they been painting as the bad illegals this time around? Oh, oh, oh. See? Easy. Not hard at all. It's harder to see because the subtext isn't there unless you were looking for it. And for a lot of people who read shit like this, they don't look for the subtext because it already confirms with their bias. Which is why I hate when people say, "Oh, all you do is you pander for the Democrats," and you're like the inherent bias is obvious there because as much as they talk about being progressive, they don't actually do anything progressive. So it's a straight shot to hate them. Do the thing that you like wanted us to vote for you for, or we're not voting for you again. Here it's like actual incitement at a losing position. Therefore, I think it's a bigger threat to attack right now. After decades of trillions in foreign aid, these countries shouldn't have any problems. Okay. What about us though? Like, what about our country? Don't you say we give money away to illegals and not help our homeless veterans and like all this and that? Like, what about our country? Maybe we should give those trillions in aid to like poor people. Oh, but you wouldn't like that either because your party literally allowed the corporate and elite class to suck the money out of America. So, like, I don't know. Maybe don't take the offensive on those points. We should demand an audit of how our money has been spent and they stop invading us. Okay. Audit of how our money is spent. Destroy the military industrial complex. Simple as that. Free up a lot of cash, bro. And they stop invading us. Nobody's invading. Stop using the word invading. That, see? Code word. Invasion. Red Scare. The communists are coming. The socialists are coming. Communist Russia is taking over us. See? 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 All right, give me a second. See? That's the trick. That's what people don't pay attention to. And I understand that. And I know it's been 30 minutes. So hopefully, if you're still watching this on YouTube or wherever, you're still fucking with me after this period of time. You can skip to it or whatever. But that's the problem. That's the issue. The points, and I will stress this to the infinite of time, the points that they make are not the issue. It's the underlying context of what they're trying to get at that eschews the entire. It shows you like where it's coming from. The concern isn't valid because you're bringing it up out of racism, out of xenophobia, out of the fear of the other. Now, you might say at this point in this argument, well, don't Democrats do that with Trump voters? Okay, let's play the field then. What are the Democrats mad at for Trump voters, not Republicans? Trump supporters. Why is it that Republicans are lumped in the circle of Trump supporters? Why are not every Republican is a Trump supporter, but every Trump supporter is a Republican, right? People like that eschew points like that. People who are on that side agree with points like that. If you skip the racism, somehow in your head, you are missing the main point. Therefore, if you agree with it, you're allowing. And see, I told you, it's Eisen's fucking cheek eye. I wasn't wrong. Like, think, take a second and think, unpack that for yourself. Why is it that people have negative reactions to these type of statements? Oh, because they see that. I don't see that. I don't get that out of that. Why do they get that? Ask somebody. Oh, but they're just going to scream at me and call me a Nazi and racist. Because at this point, it's gotten so like, they've gotten so loud with it that it's amazing that people still don't see it. But for those who don't see it, That's why you keep getting assaulted with these words like you're a Nazi, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're this and that, because you can't see the subtext. But all they do is work on the subtext. Every point I have pointed out to you thus far has had that underlying subtext in the same manner. I'm not coming up with this every time I read something new and like trying to make it fit. It is the thing. I wish you guys watched Tribe 12 because I could make a whole allegory about this. But you see the symbol and you're like, okay, so what does the symbol mean? The symbol is the thing. The thing is it is the thing. The thing is the thing. Like there is no grand other meaning for it. There is no explanation for what the symbol stands for. The symbol is the stand for. The symbol is the thing. And I can understand why you would miss it because it's hard to notice it in a stream of like everybody on the same page. The woke mob is the problem. We need to save you. My problem is that you don't look in between the spaces to understand what exactly is happening. And I'm glad that we spoke about the fucking beef thing, because that shit is stupid. But you see the underlying subtext. It's hurting white Americans' values like they don't want white Americans to be at the top anymore. We have to stop them. We have to create a culture that stops the woke mob from being able to tell white people what they can and cannot do because we've always been in charge. And how dare they even begin to hint at minorities having a say in what happens in this country? Which is why they aggressively attack AOC, Spanish descent. Why they attack Ilhan Omar. Once you put the pieces together, you start to see that the broader picture is everybody who doesn't look like us is the enemy. And can you tell where that might fucking lead to? Because if you can at this point, I'd like to point you back to January 6th. There is no explanation for it. Because even if you said, oh, the presidency is being stolen, what made you decide to think that invading the Capitol was going to stop that? That move makes no sense. What did you think the protest was going to do? Create change? Then might I point you to the protests that happened all across America that you hated so much that invoked no change and in fact gave you the weapons to attack us even harder? So it can't be the protests. It can't be the thing you're protesting because what you protesting wasn't going to change regardless. So I wonder, maybe it's because you saw the fall of a possible white supremacist empire and you were like, oh no! All that unpacks from just that one tweet. Hard, right?
Texas Republican Congressman Chip Roy joins us right.
I'm just going to read this. What the administration is doing is embarrassing and worse than that is dangerous in Texas. Representative Roy and Kendall County criminal DA Nicole Bishop discuss their op-ed about how the Biden border crisis is empowering cartels to expand operations. You're wildin'. Okay. I believe we need law and order in our country. I believe we need less gun control laws. I believe we need to back the blue and stop gun control.
I believe we need law and order in our country. I believe we need less gun control laws because the streets are safer when we are supporting our police, and the streets are safer.
Misnomer. Completely not even the same point. I'm tying the sentences together to get people to like it. Break it down.
I believe we need less gun control laws because the streets are safer when we are supporting our police, and
the streets are safer when we're supporting our police. Why? How does that make sense? The streets are safer in certain communities because they have the resources to not want to go and kill other people for their resources. How would supporting police fall into that architect? Matter of fact, how would less strict gun laws support police? They're still carrying guns and shooting people. So the gun laws have nothing to do with backing the blue or supporting the police. And supporting the police has nothing to do with stronger communities. Because over-policing pretty much says, if you do one thing that we don't like and you step out of line, we're either going to execute you or take you out of society.
The streets are safer when we have more legal gun owners being able to protect themselves, their businesses, their homes, and their families.
Protect themselves, their businesses, and their families. Not other people in other situations, just things that are private to them. Alarm systems work too. Why not just create an entire society where there are tripline mines that exist everywhere near you, and if somebody were to walk across one, boom, they blow up?
After this past year where we've seen nothing but riots and chaos coming from the left, Antifa and BLM.
Okay, I don't need to unpack that one because you guys know where that's headed, but that's bullshit.
Yet the media wants to call those peaceful protesters.
Okay, the media wants to call them peaceful protesters. I am going to make this very clear, and I can back this up with hours of evidence. Y'all already see me do it during the Capitol insurrection debate. Like, I had the evidence already there. I hate the word evidence of my argument, but I had supporting documents. I had supporting video. Here's the problem that I have with that statement. The media does not say that Antifa and BLM are peaceful protesters during riots. What they say is that the movement is a peaceful protest movement that gets wild. Like, the missing step there is who aggravates this. Because if you can show me evidence of one peaceful protest that didn't turn violent, I can show you evidence of a peaceful protest that all of a sudden got ran on. Yes, Brooklyn. That literally got ran on by cops, and they were swinging at people. I thought it was a peaceful protest, though. So if cops start coming in and tear gassing you, how is it still peaceful? It's peaceful on our side, but the law says it's not. So you ramp up your violence, we ramp up our violence. But there was no violence to start with. I don't think the media ever called Antifa protesters peaceful. I will have to look that up. And if I am wrong there, I'll gladly be wrong there. But it still wouldn't make a difference because Antifa doesn't exist. And here we go. How can you say Antifa doesn't exist? You just watched a video on stream a few days ago with literally Antifa walking down. We already did a whole breakdown on the ideology of Antifa and actual chapters versus a nationwide movement. I think everybody in America is anti-fascist. If you're talking about the movement as far as like the cells that move on like their own, there's no organizational structure. They don't work together. It's just random people attaching themselves to a brand. You, however, in the Make America Great Again movement are all attached to one brand with one goal. I still wouldn't call you I could call you a terrorist organization just because of how the Proud Boys are literally attached to the MAGA movement. But there we go. Again, see? Proud Boys, structure, leader, attached to identity, issued by president. If Joe Biden comes out and says, I am fully with Antifa and I think that they should do X, Y, and Z to Trump support, then we talk about it. But that hasn't happened, and that's never going to happen because that shit's not real.
You see, that's the big lie that is being carried out.
I'm doing the meme. I said that. What did I say? Did they do? Oh, shit. I was right. I'm fucking right. I want my credit. Somebody give me a cookie in the chat. I want my fucking credit. I spent 45 minutes doing this. I want my fucking credit. Holy shit, I was right. They're going to keep using that word in different contexts to eliminate what actually happened with the word that the thing. I was fucking right. I was right. Reframing and repositioning all the oppositional arguments till you run out of them.
Testers. You see, that's the big lie that is being carried out. But attacking police over it is completely wrong because it's the police that have had to stand there and be attacked night after night after night by these thugs and domestic terrorists ripping apart these communities.
Thugs and domestic terrorists. As if white people haven't committed acts of domestic terrorism. As if, who are you saying by thugs? Are you calling white people thugs? Because there's a lot of well-off people who are in those crowds protesting. You calling them white people thugs? No, she's eschewing that Black Lives Matter is about black people, and black people are acting like thugs and criminals going around looting shit. That's why the media, ironic. okay, this gets rid of the idea of media bias. Not completely, but like the media released the footage of who vandalizing and looting stores. Who? Was it a bunch of white people? No. They all had a similar, let's call it makeup. I wonder if that's the same ideology that you used to get here. Oh, but I thought the media was on the Black Lives Matter side, even though they were the ones who literally painted them in bad lights during the Ferguson riots. Well, you thought I forgot about that, right? You thought I forgot about that, right? Remember the beginning of Black Lives Matter when Baltimore was, and I made the one of the first videos I made was a whole segment on that. I wonder who's in control of that narrative, because that was mainstream media painting that picture. There was no call of peaceful protesters then. There was calls of they're blocking the roads. They should just run them over. That was the general consensus across both Democrats and Republicans and the mainstream media and conservative media. Huh. So what are you actually angry at?
That they claim they're trying to help. So police reform, no, I don't think we need police reform. I think we need to back the blue.
She didn't even say defunding the police. We don't need to defund the police. We need to support the police. She said we don't need police reform. Even police officers say you need police reform. So what the fuck?
And we need to stop gun control.
All right, that's Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia joining us live here on National Report.
She literally said nothing the entire time. Most major police organizations support reasonable gun control efforts. Like, I just said that.
McCarthy, according to Kevin McCarthy.
I'm not gonna unpack that one because that I just don't care. Okay, she's still talking about Back to Blue. I'll be in Columbus, Ohio as a Black to Blue on Saturday. The rally will be streaming live on the RSBN network. So, ladies and gentlemen, 47 minutes in, that is me unpacking every brand new Marjorie Taylor Greene tweet. Hopefully you enjoyed.